Hello everybody, how are you today? I'm Chef Rob. Thank you for coming and thank you for always having me at the Mastic Merch's Shirley Library. Debbie from the library, it's always a pleasure working with her, and tonight she had asked me if I would do something international. So let's do some curry, okay? So if you like curry, you will like these two dishes. So the recipe I sent to the library, they should be on the Facebook or the website. If not, I will send them an email and you will get these recipes, okay? And let's start by making the chicken. Okay, so this one is really delicious. I'm just going to turn on this burner right here. I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil and just a little bit of butter. The olive oil will just let it kind of get a little nice and seared. And then the butter gives it a nice flavoring. So just about a tablespoon's worth of butter. That is it.
Someone said hello. Someone else said hi, chef.
Hello.
And someone asked, or they said they're going to learn how to cook with curry.
Oh, okay. Great. If you never had curry, it is different. So people either love it or do not like it at all. I like it very much. So I have the oil and the butter in here. First thing I'm going to do is cut up my chicken. So I'm just going to take, which is a pretty large chicken breast. I just want to trim any of that excess fat off of it. That little piece right there.
Someone asked where they could find the recipes.
These recipes, I sent them to the library about a week ago. They were supposed to put them up on the website. If they're not up there, I will send them another email after this class, and hopefully then Monday when they reopen, they would put them up there again, okay? Or put them up for the first time. Okay, so what I want to do is cut these into 1-inch cubes. Okay, so the chicken, always use a separate cutting board for it. That way you don't have any bacteria, anything on it, and I get rid of everything that I used with the chicken right away and start with new gloves. Okay, just cut this again, 1-inch cubes. Any type of the chicken would work. If you like the thighs work well too. The thighs tend to hold up a little better as far as if you overcook it. They still will stay a little more moist, but not everybody likes the dark meat, but not everybody likes the white meat. So it's a preference. So I'm just waiting for that butter and oil to get nice and hot. My son Chris is here tonight, and he will answer any question, or he'll give me the questions. He won't answer them. He says it's $1 a question then, so I can't ask him to answer any. So any comments, any questions, please feel free. And we have virtual programs booked, I know, all the way through September and October at your library. So look forward to them. Okay, let me take this chicken, toss this in here. I'm doing the chicken dish first because that one does take a little bit longer. Just going to get that nice and brown. I am going to get rid of anything that had chicken on it. And now start fresh. Okay, so we are just going to let that cook. Now it says curried chicken and vegetables. You can put whatever vegetables you like in it. As this chicken is cooking, I'm just going to show you some of the things I did. I steamed a little bit of fresh broccoli. This broccoli is beautiful. The way to have your broccoli stay really beautiful and bright is put a dot of cream of tartar in there, almost like a 1/4 teaspoon, maybe not even that much. And it doesn't change the flavor, but it makes the vegetables look really bright. And you can do that the same with these carrots. See that next to this? Look how bright that is. And that is by adding just a dot of the cream of tartar. And then we have some frozen peas here. Frozen or the canned peas are fine for this. Okay. So I am just going to keep mixing this chicken around. I am not going to cook it all the way through. Just going to kind of get it browned on the outside. And then I'm going to add some onion. I'm going to start cutting the onion now using a yellow onion. Take those little ends off. Okay, perfect. The next class that I am doing is Monday night, and it is at 7 o'clock, and it's at the Longwood Public Library, and that is on Facebook, so if you want to watch. I am doing a dish from Santorini, Greece, with shrimp and feta cheese, and then I'm also doing a dish from Rome, and that is an Italian panzanella salad, Italian bread salad. It's really, really good. Okay, let's just get rid of this. I'm gonna prepare all my vegetables right now. Now the carrots, as I'm cutting this onion, I just want to say the carrots, you can put them in this dish raw, but since we're filming this, you don't want to watch carrots cook for 20 minutes. So if I cook them ahead of time, you could speed this process up a little bit. Okay. And at any time, just to kind of season the meat, a little bit of kosher salt and a little black pepper. Okay, I'm just going to dice up this onion. Okay, I go almost all the way through and then just cut it into small little pieces. I'm using the whole onion, and this is a medium-sized onion. If you don't like the yellow onion and you like a little sweeter, you certainly could use like a Vidalia onion. Okay, perfect. So let me just get any of this chicken that is still not cooked on the outside. As soon as I get it cooked on at least the outside, I'm just going to put it on a plate, and then I want to add my onions into this mixture. Okay, that is good. Now I'm just going to get a little dish. I am making a very small amount, but I'm going over exactly how much you should put in it when you're making the recipe. Okay, so I'm just going to take this chicken right here, leave it right on the side. I'm going to keep all that flavor that is in here, the oil, the butter, and the juices from the chicken. I'm going to get that on a medium-high heat. I'm going to take a sheet of aluminum foil and just cover my chicken so that way it stays nice and hot. Still keep cooking a little bit. I'm going to add some of the onion in this pan. A lot of dishes like this, I usually like to use something like this where it's almost like a wok, where you have a nice high side, so you're not going to spill anything out of it. Okay? And you could serve this over some basmati rice. Basmati rice is really, really good. It has a nice nutty flavor and like a floral aroma to it as well. And it's usually grown in Himalayas, India, and Pakistan. Okay, let's get that sauteed. We're going to get that nice and soft. And then I will start adding my carrots to it. And then we'll start adding some seasonings. The seasonings that I'm adding to this, I'm adding some cumin, 2 teaspoons of the cumin, 1.5 teaspoons of the curry, and 1 teaspoon of the cinnamon. Now, the cumin will give it a nice smoky flavor. There's actually cumin in the curry too. So if you want a little more smokiness to it, you add just a little bit more cumin. I'm just trying to get these onions nice and soft. And I can always add the peas and the broccoli since they're already cooked right at the very end. Okay. Chris, any questions out there?
Nope, don't see any.
Okay. Anytime, send those comments, questions in, okay? And I promise I will send an email to the library as soon as we are done to make sure that that recipe is up there. I do my best. I promise I do. If anybody wants to go to my Facebook page, by tomorrow we will have up next week's schedule. It's Simply Creative Chef Rob Scott. Again, that's Simply Creative Chef Rob Scott. I'm just going to add these carrots in here.
Yeah, someone just asked if the recipes are going to be posted.
I am going to do my best, okay? And you can always email or call the library on Monday if you don't see them. And if you're not from that library, you can call and it's the Mastic Mauritius Shirley Library. Okay, so this is where we're at. We have the butter, the oil, some onions, a little bit of carrot. And now I am going to start adding the seasonings. I am adding about 2 teaspoons of the cumin and 1.5 teaspoons of the curry.
Someone asked, what did you say to add to make the veggies bright?
Cream of tartar. Cream of tartar a lot of times used in baking, but it will brighten up your vegetables. So if you're steaming them, put them in a little water, boiling them, just add a little bit, less than 1/4 teaspoon, and it will brighten them up. Beautiful. Okay, so let's start cooking this. I want to get all those spices really mixed really good. I don't want it to be sitting at the bottom of the pan where they could burn, because then it could really throw off a whole different taste. Okay, this is nice and mixed.
Someone just asked, what's your page? Is it Chef Rob?
Simply Creative Chef Rob Scott. Okay, that's where we're at right now. And now I am going to take a couple teaspoons of the flour. I'm adding about 4 teaspoons of the flour. This will help thicken the sauce. And you could always add more if you need it. Let me mix this up really good. And then I'm going to add 1 cup of chicken broth to this.
Someone said thank you so much for the very great info, and someone else said thank you.
You're so welcome. And thank you for always watching too. Okay. The flour is in there, all the spices. I'm going to add 1 cup of chicken broth. Yes, you're saying, all right, that's just water, Chef Rob, right? But I am going to add a little of this paste. It's very salty, so you can make it less or more depending on your desire. But always kind of think of 1 tablespoon per quart of water. Okay, that's kind of rule of thumb when using this. But if you want to use the broth in the box, you can always do that and measure out 1 cup. So let me just put in this chicken broth here. Now there's a little bit of the paste there, so you do want to make sure that that dissolves and kind of gets mixed really well. Otherwise you can get a mouthful of salt, so you don't want that.
Someone said they went to their website and they had them posted.
Oh, that's great. Okay, everybody, so they are out there and they are posted. Okay, so this is nice and thick right now. If everybody can see this, right in the pan here. And I want a nice thickness with this. Now I am going to add 1/4 cup of heavy cream. Right in about 1/4 cup is just fine. Just going to mix this really well. That is looking really good, and I promise you this has such great taste.
And someone just posted the Facebook link to the our Facebook page.
Boy, you guys are good out there. Good. I'm glad the recipes are out there, and my Facebook page is out there as well. And now I'm going to put the peas in here, just like that. Mix this around really well. And now I am going to add the chicken in here and reduce it just until it is cooked all the way through. If you do put the carrots in when they are raw, you will have to add about 15 to 20 minutes in there so they get nice and tender. If you cook them ahead of time, you can speed this dish up very greatly.
Someone asked if you could just add coconut milk.
Coconut milk, you certainly could to this, yes, because curry, coconut milk goes really well. Okay, so I am just going to let this simmer a little bit. I want to finish the chicken off where it's cooked all the way through. You do want to make sure it's cooked to 165. And if you cook it to 160 and you just let it in this sauce that is piping hot, it will finish on its own to 165. And just to have a little seasoning, a little kosher salt, and a little black pepper. So I am just going to reduce this down. And then when this is cooked all the way through, I will put it over some Basmati rice. And it will be delicious. Okay. Anybody any questions on this?
Someone asked, how do you cook the carrots if making them earlier?
What I did was took a pot of boiling water. I cut them very thin. Let me kind of get one of these out of here. See if you can see how small, thin they are. Drop them in boiling water for about 4 or 5 minutes at the most. And then rinse cold water over it and keep them in the refrigerator until you're ready to use them. Because anything cooked, you don't want sitting out at room temperature unless you're ready to use it or eat it. Okay. Especially in this weather, in the next couple days, when you go to the supermarket, make sure that you really bring coolers and ice packs if you're buying eggs, milk, chicken, anything like that, because it really does matter. Okay, so I am going to let that simmer, and then I'll put it over the rice, show you how to finish that off. In the meantime, I'm going to go over and start on the shrimp dish. So earlier today, my son and I, we did 2 YouTube videos for the children. And believe it or not, we had to film because we got to stay ahead of the game. And we know we won't be back in the libraries until at least the new year. So we were doing Halloween today. So before I go on to the next dish, I just want to show everybody some Halloween things that we did.
Someone said, yum, looks good. Love it over rice.
Oh, good. Thank you. This is Scarecrow Cookies that cupcakes, I should say. You could do them on cookies. And all it is like those Keebler graham cracker cookies, some of the Chinese noodles, the black squeezed tube icing, and either Skittles or M&Ms, and then a little bit of white icing, and you have Scarecrow cupcakes. So we're celebrating Halloween in July now, right? But that's what we have to do because the libraries are ordering these things, so I have to make sure that they are ready. This is called my Pumpkin Patch Brownies. So what you do is you take little mini brownies, or you could do a whole cake, put little sprinkles on there, those little pumpkins that are like the candy corn, and then you make these little signs up. Go to like a craft store and you get these little signs, put a little glue on it, let it dry, and then you write whatever you would like on here.
Someone said, OMG, so cute. Someone else said, this is awesome. Even better than the videos, like the YouTube ones. And they said, thank you, miss your live classes in the library.
Thank you, and I miss going to the classes too. I have to be honest, I don't miss the driving and bringing all the stuff in and out, but I miss the people and serving everybody. I know everybody likes their tasting, and but if you like curry, please make this at home, please. So I'm just going to reduce that down. That is nice and thick. If I thought that this was too thick, I could always go back and add just a little more chicken broth or even a dot of water, okay, just to thin it out. Okay, let me start on the shrimp. I have to get this one plugged. Okay, so I am going to get some unsweetened coconut milk into this pot. I say like in my recipe, a large pot, okay, usually pretty high. I'm putting it on this, so this way it cooks kind of quicker, and that way you can actually see into the pot, and it's also easier for my son. And he appreciates that, I think, right?
Yep.
Okay, now I'm going to add some lime juice to this. The limes, when you buy I could just tell when I go to the supermarket whether the lime is any good or not. You want it to be a little light, you want it to be heavy in weight, and nice and soft, because that means there's a lot of juice in there. Okay, so I want about a tablespoon of the lime juice. You could put them in the microwave for about 10 seconds, maybe a little less. There is a lot of juice in there. I'm going to use maybe another half, and then that should be good. Perfect. So I want to bring this to a boil. I'm going to add some of the curry in here. So I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of the curry powder. Just like that. Bring this around. And then I want about a teaspoon of the fresh ginger. When you go to the supermarket and you get the ginger, always break off the piece or the amount that you really need, okay? Let the other piece stay at the supermarket because it'll just probably go bad on you. You can freeze this though. Freezing it is really, really good. You can always put it in little ice cube trays too. I'm just peeling the end of it. Can you use this without peeling it? Absolutely. Just scrub it really well. Just want to get that off. Now what I am doing, I'm using what's called a microplane. And I am just going to grate about a teaspoon's worth. And try to use just the fresh ginger. Now, if you can see, nothing is coming off, so it's almost like I'm working for nothing, but it's all built on the back of here. I am just going to take a little spoon and just kind of drop it in there. And that right there is a teaspoon's worth. Bring this around. After I bring it to a boil, I just want to simmer it for a few minutes. Now, it'll say on the recipe for about 7 to 10 minutes, but that's when you have a smaller pot and it's higher. Since this is kind of wide, it's going to cook pretty quick. Okay. So let's let that come to a boil. And now what I want to do is just kind of show you how I would serve this dish. I would take some of this Basmati rice. Basmati rice is very, very easy to cook too. It's just a little water, a little dot of salt, and that is really it. So I am just gonna put some right on this plate right here like this. Okay, you can kind of just break it apart. It was sitting a little bit, so it gets a little starchy. So if you ever wanted to run just a little water over it just to get some of the starch out, you certainly could. And now I will put this right over it. Just like that. And since I have some beautiful broccoli right here, you want to always make your dish really nice and colorful. Even just for your family. Yes, you should. Hey, it makes them they want to come back and eat your dinner the next night with you, instead of saying, I'm going to go get takeout tonight. So that, you can make it just like that, and it will make a really nice plate. Okay, so this is now boiling, which is our mixture with the coconut milk, the lime, the curry, and the ginger. I'm just going to reduce this down for a few minutes. I'm going to add a pinch of salt and pepper.
Someone said that looks delicious.
Thank you. A little bit of salt. And a little bit of fresh ground black pepper. While this is reducing down, what I want to do is go over about the shrimp. I'm using what's called white Gulf shrimp. They have really, really excellent quality. They can be pricey, but you're getting a real nice texture to the shrimp, a nice flavor. Whenever I was in the restaurant, I was a head chef in many restaurants in the Hamptons for probably 20 years. And then I was a personal chef for the man who created the Yellow Book. And my biggest thing was I always wanted the food to be very easy for the customer or my guests to eat. So I would never leave the tail of the shrimp on. You know when you get a shrimp Alfredo or Fra Diavolo, yes, it does look pretty with the little tail on there. But if you take that tail off, people will say, oh, that restaurant takes those tails off. It's easy to eat. I can just kind of cut it on my plate, and I don't have to get cream all over my hand. So that was one of my big things that I always had the chefs that worked for me do. And that was the same with like duckling as well, because the duckling, a lot of people didn't want to fuss with it because of the bones. I left that one big bone in there, and the rest was all boneless because it was very easy to eat. Okay, so this is getting nice and thick. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take these shrimp, I'm going to put these in here and let them start cooking. I want to get that sauce over it, and I could always kind of turn it over. And this could take about 10 minutes to kind of cook in that, but again, I'm cooking this a little higher temperature. And as soon as it's pink inside, has a nice snap, you know that it is cooked through. Your best tasting shrimp is in the restaurant business, and they would always say U5 or U15, and that means how many shrimp are to a pound. So the best tasting shrimp is usually in between 15 to 30. It's not too big. Sometimes the too bigger ones can be a little tough, have too much of a snap to it, and not good flavor. And then if you get the little popcorn shrimp, the little baby salad shrimp, those tend to carry a lot of water in there, and those will not have much flavor in it. Okay. Chris, we getting any questions out there?
Nope, don't see any.
Okay. Mastic Shirley's always been very quiet. They've always been very shy when I go to the library. No. When I go to Mastic Shirley Library, we always have our 40 patrons that always come every single month, and then we usually have about 15 or so on the waiting list. And I've been going to Mastic Shirley Library now for about 7 years. And it's been such a nice, wonderful relationship with the patrons that come in and support me every month when I'm there. And I do a family class earlier in the day, and the families are always so wonderful. And then the staff always treats me so good. And it's right from security when I walk in the door to the custodians. You guys are always the best. Okay, so these are cooking. They will get cooked through really nice. And this as well. You could serve this with some steamed broccoli, some vegetables too. Do this with the basmati rice. Any way you can change this. Okay. And again, I could serve some of the broccoli right on the side of the shrimp. Okay. So this is a little more of a simpler one. But you do want the shrimp to kind of get coated with the coconut milk, and it will give such great flavor.
Someone said, we love your cooking.
Thank you so much. While these shrimp are cooking, I want to give everybody my schedule for this week. So if you got a pen and paper, I'm just going to tell you some of the other places you can go to.
Someone said, it looks wonderful.
Thank you. Last night, my son and I, we did a class in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, right, Chris?
Yeah.
All right, and we did Connecticut during the week. And we had one in Massachusetts as well. So, okay, let me give everybody my schedule. On Monday, it is Longwood Library, and it's 7 o'clock, and it's Facebook, and it's from Santorini, Greece, and it is shrimp with feta cheese and tomatoes. It's delicious. And then a panzanella salad from Rome, Italy. Okay. And before I go on, I think Chris is saying, Dad, you got a question.
Someone asked, where do you buy your curry seasoning?
My curry seasoning, I have gotten mine from Restaurant Depot. They do have a few different curries there. So it depends, like if you want a milder one, a little stronger. But you can also, kind of Google maybe a place that may have a good one around. There used to be a place, I think it was in Westbury, that used to sell really high-end spices. But always with the spices, keep them in a cool, dark place, because that intense flavor will stay intense. If you kind of keep it in humidity, they're going to lose its texture and taste very quickly.
Someone said they love the shrimp and they would add hot sauce to it.
Absolutely. Yep. You know, when I go to the library, my thing is like keep it at least medium because I have some people that like it very spicy and I have some people that just want like a plain roast chicken. So I try to keep it medium and then I give you the tools that whatever you would kick it up with at home. Okay. Okay, so these have about 2 minutes on it. I want to tell you the other class that I'm doing. The other class is in Corning, New York. Okay, and that is that is Zoom. But if you can go to their library and you can get their Zoom access code. And I'm doing a dish from Tuscany, Italy. And it's a pasta where you roast tomatoes and penne, and it's really, really delicious. We made that about 2 weeks ago, and I'm gonna remake that one for this library on Tuesday.
Someone said thank you.
You're welcome. And then on Wednesday, we are at the Bayport Blue Point Library, and it's 6 o'clock, and I'm doing a seared shrimp in a lettuce cup with a mango pineapple relish. And then I'm also going to do another dish, but I don't have that in me right to tell you right now. And then on Thursday, I'm at Plain Edge Public Library in Nassau. And I'm doing a Greek ravioli salad. And that one I do believe is Facebook, but you can check the Plain Edge Library. And then on Friday, I have 2 classes. And the 2 classes that I have, one is at 3:30, and it's in Riverhead, and I'm doing a giant chocolate chip cookie pizza. I've been doing a lot of those classes, so if you've seen some of them, I hope you've made that, or you eat a slice and then freeze the rest. And then with that one, I'm doing a raspberry ricotta mousse, and that's at Riverhead at 3:30 on Friday. And then Friday evening, at the Bellingham Public Library in Massachusetts, the chocolate chip cookie pizza as well. And you can go to their library too. And that one I believe is Facebook. Okay. So I can tell that these shrimp, because there's like a, not that it's tough, but you could just feel there's no rawness inside when you press down on it. You have to be careful because this sauce is very, very hot. So I am just going to take this, and this kind of just goes into a bowl. And then you just pour the sauce over it. Again, I didn't make all the shrimp because I don't have to. You're not eating here, right? So I am just adding 4 of these here. Just like that. A little sauce on it. And now you can always garnish it with a little lime wedge, because the lime with it goes really, really well. And always a piece of broccoli to make it look decorative and festive. So what I want to do is bring all these dishes together, and then my son will show you. He'll go right down from the Scarecrow cupcakes all the way to the curried chicken with the carrots, the peas, and the broccoli. And please, if anybody has any questions, comments, send them in now. And please don't forget my Facebook page, because I will put the schedule up by tomorrow. And it is Simply Creative Chef Rob Scott. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you will make this. Don't forget, somebody had said that they are on the website, okay, the recipes. So they're there for you to enjoy. At the end of the summer, I know I'm doing a couple of the libraries, and I'm doing like a curried apple chicken salad too, a tea sandwich one. I think that's at the Connecticut Public Library, and that's late August. Chris says we have a question.
Someone asks, is this recipe in your cookbook?
It is not in my cookbook. I came up with this after I wrote the cookbook. I have 2 cookbooks, and yeah, I did this afterwards, so no, it didn't make the cut for the cookbook.
Someone said yummy. Someone else said thank you so much, Chef Rob. Someone else said the cupcakes look so cute.
Thank you.
Emily Garza Profeta said, going to make the chicken tomorrow.
Very good.
She's been making almost all the dishes.
Emily, hello. You,
And
your husband and son, always so nice. You may have missed one class out of 7 years, right? I hope you guys are all good.
someone else said, loving all the virtual classes. And
Good.
someone else said they have them both the cookbooks.
Oh, that's great. And if you are loving the virtual classes, please let the library know so they do continue. I love doing it for you. It's something for you to watch. So it's something to get us through what we've been experiencing since March.
Someone said, sounds like you need to make another cookbook.
Uh-oh. Seems like I need some time. If March, when I started my first day or two off and I didn't have anything to do, which I have not had that since I was about 13 years old, where I woke up and said, well, what am I going to do today? I had about a week and a half, 2 weeks of that before the virtual started taking off. I may have started on that, doing the cookbooks and that, but it's very hard, it's very time consuming, and the two of them is really enough for right now. But if this ever slowed down, I would certainly work on one because I have a lot of recipes that I would love to put in another book. So any final questions?
Nope, don't see any.
All right, everybody, thank you from the Mastic Shirley Library for always having me. And everybody out there, please be safe, be healthy, enjoy summer, and be careful the next couple of days because they're going to be very, very hot. So drink that water and stay healthy. All right, bye-bye, everybody.